Hey everybody, it's me again, Charles Norm from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS, and it is a software that we've created, absolutely no cost to you, that allows you to put in your academic information, the sport you play, the level you can participate, and where you're looking in the country. And we'll show you all the schools you academically qualified to attend that have your sport at the level you can participate in, and then you can start doing some research. And I have to get out here when I do these weekly one-on-ones with you guys. I have to get out here really early because our park over here, a lot of people come and they run and they bring their dogs out early in the morning. So I try to get here early, and I'm a little embarrassed today because you notice I don't have my AthleticSOS shirt on. I have the t-shirt that I wear under it because I was in such a rush, I forgot to put the other shirt on. So please excuse me as far as that's concerned. Now, today, I want to talk about NAIA. I want to make a case for it. And I had stopped doing this for the last year or so. Just even when I go around and talk about it, I stopped doing it for two reasons. I want you guys to tell me at the end of the video if one of the reasons that I'm doing it, if I have it right, okay? Because it's something that kind of makes me a little bit nervous about recommending NAIA for the reasons I was doing it before. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's talk about what NAIA is. It's the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, NAIA, yes, that's it. And then there's the NCAA, which is the National Collegiate Athletic Association. So NAIA, NCAA. And the NCAA has three different levels, right? Division 1s, 2, and 3. And the NAIA has divisions 1 and 2. Now, most people consider an NAIA athlete or program equivalent with a NCAA Division 3 program. Now, because NAIA has two divisions, I would say Division 1, the best of those schools, can compete at the NCAA Division 2 level pretty easily. But in general, people talk about Division 3 and NAIA as being kind of the equivalents of each other. But the interesting thing is for NCAA Division 3, they don't offer athletic scholarships. Now, they'll give you what's called merit-based scholarships. And so if you were an athlete, you would go down that lane and they would look at all the other stuff's going on with you, and they can give you money to come as an athlete and go to that school. And some people, and I'm one of them, would say that sometimes it's a better deal than what you would get for an athletic scholarship, especially if you have great grades. They can give you more money at the Division 3 for all of the costs of going to college. Whereas the NCAA has these crazy rules where you can only get this for this. You know, it's been less and less as time has gone on, and now you can, it's pretty much probably even. But at the time it was, hey, sometimes if you go get a D3 school, NCAA Division 3 school, you would actually have more money coming in than you would otherwise. Now, most kids want to play at the top level, and that's NCAA Division 1. If you can play there, most kids wouldn't even think about playing D2, D3, or NAIA. However, here's the real difference between NAIA and why I do this usually in the fall if I'm going to do it, or when I'm talking to kids that are seniors, because of the rules of engagement between coaches and the players. The NAIA allows anybody, any coach to reach out to you at any time, and you can reach out to any coach at any time. And so that really saves a lot of people that if you follow the NCAA rules, they have these different areas or timelines where someone can reach out to you as a coach, and they do it for a good reason. I won't say they don't do it for a good reason, but I think you guys are adult enough to be able to do that on your own. So if you think you're stuck, if you think you're overlooked, or you think you're underrepresented, or somebody's not paying attention and you want to get a chance to get in front of some coaches and get some contact with some coaches, the NAIA is a great opportunity for you to get connected with some coaches without having to worry about all these timeline, things like that. So that's one big reason I tell people that it makes a lot of sense to look at NAIA schools. Now, the other reason I used to always tout this and I stopped doing it was, if you, let's say you're a D2 kid, or even a D1 kid, and you have what you want to do after college. You're not necessarily thinking you're going to go pro, right? You just want to go, you get some money, help you pay for college, and you get to continue playing the game you love. And that's the idea behind it. Now, if you went to the school at the level you can actually participate, let's say you're a D2 kid and you went to a D2 school, or you were a D1 kid and you go to a D1 school. If you go at your level, you're probably going to have to fit into whatever the rules are for those athletes. And this is something I found out with my daughter when she went to college. There's some disciplines, students and majors and disciplines, they won't let you go into because it takes time away from you practicing with the team, or working out with the team, or your travel schedule doesn't match up. Anything that has labs with it is almost a no-no. Anything in the medical field, anything, and sometimes even in the technology field, you can get where they're going, hey, you're spending way too much time over there. You can't go into these disciplines. And that's why you see a lot of kids that are in the sociology or communications, things like that. A lot of people think it's because the kid's too, not smart enough to go into these other fields. That's not the case. It's because if you want to play, if you want to participate and get this money from us, this is kind of like a job, if you really think about it, when you come and play for a college. They expect you to be available to them, to work out, to get better, to improve, to go to film studies, the weight room, the running, the conditioning, all of that stuff. That's on season, off season. You're available year round. And so that's just the way it is. And if you want to play at that level, that's what you have to do. But imagine you're a D1 kid or a D2 kid, and you go and you say, I'm going to go to this D3 school. I'll come to you guys, or this NAIA school, if you guys will let me take this major. And now that school can make that decision on their own. They can say, yeah, we can work this thing out. We're going to get this great talent to come to us, and we're going to let them do what they need to do. I used to promote that as an alternative, because we had a lot of parents that were like, I don't even want my kid to play at the collegiate level. And it used to baffle me a lot. I was going, first of all, you can get some money for your kid to go so they don't go into debt. And some of these parents are like, oh no, we got the money, we'll pay for it. So that was off the table. But the way I used to always get them was, I used to say, the other thing is, your kid's going to go whatever field. It could be an attorney, it could be a doctor, whatever it is. They're going to go and they're going to apply, and they're going to go for an interview, and they're going to sit in there, and someone's going to be reading their resume or their folder, and they're going to see that they played college athletics, which is very difficult to do. And so they're going to stand apart from the person who wasn't not able to do that. And it shows that they were able to play athletics and get this degree also. And so that's a win-win for your kid. It's going to put them at another level than everyone else. And all of a sudden, people start to go, oh, I didn't think about it that way. And I said the other thing was, the first 2 years of school, you're going to be doing your general education requirements anyway. I go, just let them play for a couple of years. And then you can see how it works out for. If it doesn't work out and they start to go more into their major, then you can say, hey, okay, that's enough of that. And then we've got it from here. But I go, give them the opportunity. I don't know why parents, adults, everybody, give the kid the opportunity to be all they can be. They've earned the right, if they can get that scholarship offer, to accept it and go on and move on with their life. It will pay off in the end. And so I used to say that. And then the other thing I was going to say about this is, I like when people have to think through things a little bit more. I talk that to you guys all the time. I talk about positioning a lot, but I always want the AthleticSOS members think another level down. And this is me too. This is a learning experience for me too through the years. And what I started to find was, those kids that would, maybe they're D1, maybe they're D2, and they go to a D3 or NAIA school, they have a little bit of an arrogant attitude. And so they go down there and they think they're better than the kids they're playing with. And they may be a better athlete. That doesn't make you a better person. And so sometimes they would go down there, and maybe over years they'll mature a little bit, but it's just a bad look. And so I kind of stopped doing it because of that reason. But the bigger reason and I want to hear from you guys about this thought. If someone is D2, D1, and they go NAIA or D3, they're taking a spot away from a kid that is actually D3 or NAIA. That should be their spot. And so that's the biggest reason I just kind of stopped even talking about it. And the only reason I'm doing it now is because it is the fall, and I'm getting a lot of the kids. We've been going out to schools lately to get some of the parents set up. There's back to school night and the college nights and all this stuff starting to go on now. And we're invited to a bunch of them moving forward. And I'm starting to hear the kids that are scared. They're like, I don't know, I'm not getting, I thought I had something set up, it's summertime. I had all these schools talking to me all last year, and now they kind of dropped off, and everybody's a little bit afraid. And so I bring up NAIA as an alternative, because you can reach out to those coaches right now. Season's getting ready to get started, especially the local NAIA schools, and you can kind of reach out right now. And so the other thing that I was going to mention, there are only about 300 NAIA schools, across the country, and they don't all have all sports, and they don't have as many sports as most of the NCAA schools, especially NCAA Division III. Those colleges have tons of sports because they're not getting athletic scholarships. But they have a ton of sports. So that's what I want to kind of bring to you guys today. So the other thing that I was going to say to you guys for NAIA, and I think it's really important, is that it's very easy to see if you qualify. Now, NCAA has these sliding scales. You know, your ACT score, your SAT score needs to be this, and then your GPA is that. And if your GPA is this, then your ACT, SAT scores need to be that. And it's really a weird thing. And it depends on what level, the number of courses you need to take for the number of years. It's just a lot going on there. The NAIA is much simpler. You got to have at least a 18 on your ACTs, and I think it's an 860 on your SATs, right? If you have that, or you, and then you need a 2.0 GPA, so that's your second thing. So your test scores, and then your GPA needs to be a 2.0, and you could be in the top half of your high school class. And so, but here's the interesting part about that. So those are 3 criteria, right? But you only have to meet 2 of them. And so that's really an interesting thing that they do there. So think about that. You can tell already if you can play at the NAIA level if you meet 2 of the 3 criteria. Again, 18 ACT, 860 SAT, 2.0 GPA, top half of your class. 2 of those 3. If you got that, you can participate at the NAIA level. Now, I will say this, and it's kind of I don't know where this came from, but if you're a homeschooled, then you need to have a little bit higher score. I think the ACT is a 20 instead of 18, and I can't remember what the SAT. You guys can look it up. So that's interesting. And then if you're an international student, it's the same rules for the regular setup, the 18, the 860, the 2.0, and top half of your class. And so those are the kind of things where you kind of know what's going on. And again, really, the other really important part is you can reach out to any coach at any NAIA school that you want to at any time, and those coaches can talk back to you at any time. The rules aren't there. A few other things you might want to note on this is that even though the NAIA schools give a certain amount for a sport and it's supposed to be split amongst all the athletes, they can make up the rules on how they do the split, and it's a little bit different than the other schools, or what compensation they want to give you. They have a little more autonomy per campus, so it's a great opportunity. If you think you're going to go the NAIA route, check with a bunch of different schools, because they can offer what they can offer. They can make up their own rules. It's not as stringent as the NCAA works it in that sense. And again, like I said, for the Division III for NCAA, there's no athletic scholarship, but they're basically giving you merit pay money, and a lot of kids don't qualify for some of the merit pay, so sometimes they don't get as much as they would with the NAIA. It just depends. So those 2 are kind of equal with each other. And then what was the last piece I wanted to say about this thing? Oh yeah, so one of the other reasons I'm kind of hesitant to do this is because I find some kids that have some offers from other schools, they'll start calling and talking to the NAIA coaches, and they'll sort of hold it in their back pocket, hold it hostage. That college thinks they're going to get this prime athlete coming to them, and that kid is just, that family is holding this, and it's holding up the spot that someone else could be having, and they have no intention of really going there unless everything else falls through for them. I'm sorry, but these are the kind of people that really, for me, I just don't like it. I just think that's a bad way to live. And I know I tell you guys, get some of these other schools in your back pocket that you know you qualify for, just in case something else falls through. I tell you guys that, but I don't tell you to reach out and hold a spot that you know that school really believes that you're going to come there, that they're first on your list. That I don't promote at all. And so if I've at any point made it seem that way, let me clear that up right now. You don't hold a spot and have someone thinking you're interested in them and you want to be at that place when you know you don't. You know you want to be over here. Don't do that. That's just not the way we do things. All right, guys. So I'm going to cut this short from here. Again, I always give you guys a code, and I give you access, and I teach you how to use the code to access AthleticSOS. It is absolutely no cost to you guys. We are growing big. I tell everybody it's my little weekly YouTube things, but they all think they're doing all the work on the outside. And I know you guys are using our code now. So please use it, give it to other people. If you just happen to catch this and you don't have any kids that play, get the code for them and the information for them and let them go check it out. Just share, give out to whoever you can. Let's be the best people we can as we move forward. I'm having a great time with this. This year just feels fresh. It feels like everything's back on track a little bit, you know, after the last couple of years. So I'm really excited about it. We got that huge thing going on in Hawaii that I'm really interested in, because we've got like over 30 schools over there that are going to try to implement this, and we still haven't figured out exactly the best way to do it, but I'm super excited about that. I've got a couple of city business units that want to give this out to the kids, and are trying to work with the local high schools. There's a little bit of pushback there, but it's just very exciting, I guess is the best way to put it. So if what we do helps you, we want to help you if it helps you stay in the game, and that's what you want to do. We got your back. All right, guys. Talk to you later.